Hey everybody, how's it going? You're listening to Reptiles with Yoshii.
This is Constantino with @constantly__Tino 2 underscores.
You're never sure.
Yeah, he never is, dude.
I'm never prepared.
You're never sure.
Ready. I'm never ready.
This is Chucky from MadBioReptile.
Alrighty, if you're listening and want to watch, you can check us out on YouTube as Modern Reptile. And if you're watching and want to listen, we're on pretty much every single streaming platform.
That matters.
There we go. He's got it.
See, I'm prepared. I'm prepared now.
Yeah, but for your own name.
No, he can't.
No, that's too hard. It's too hard.
Alright, guys, how you guys doing today?
Chilling like a villain, tired as hell.
Yep, vibing. Long work week, but nice. Ready for the next week, I guess.
Alright, cool. Yeah, this is the first time I see you guys in like 2 weeks.
You're right. You've had the C word.
The
How's that
C
been?
word.
Cunt.
I've had the cunt. That's the one. No, it's been okay, man. My wife got it way worse. Like 4 days,
damn.
like knocked the fuck out.
Does it?
Yeah.
I thought you were going to say way worse. She had a child or something.
Oh no.
Yoshi's child. Man, that's rough.
Yeah, no, so she had it worse than I did at least. Me, I had it really for a day or two, but I just haven't been able to kick this cough. Like if I breathe too deep, I'm just like coughing.
Yeah.
So Chuck was telling me I should just stop breathing.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But other than that, I mean, I'm fucking happy to be here.
Nice. Good.
Yeah.
Glad to see you're not dead.
Half there.
Yeah,
halfway there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Never
And you
know.
aren't vaccinated, right? Or you are vaccinated?
Yeah, super vax. I got
Super
all
vaxxed.
5.
You got all 5.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yo, look at this guy.
There's
Look
a
at
list
his face.
now.
How's it going?
All right, Tino, what's our topic for today?
So honestly, I wanted to talk about like things that bother us in the hobby. It's a lot more personal. Damn.
There we go.
All right, I'm out. That's it. So I was watching YouTube and this video was recommended to me. They like snakes, but they were like, "Dang, look, you gotta take a look at this." And it was about Miss Snake Charmer, which is
She should.
it is a high school. It is a high school beauty pageant. There's not just one, bro. It is a high school. It is a high school beauty pageant.
So it's like a thing.
It's a thing. It's an
There's
annual
a whole
thing.
bunch of bitches.
An annual thing. Yep.
And they just kill snakes.
Yep. Wait. I gotta explain. So Miss Snake Charmer, right?
Sorry.
Okay.
A high
Spoiler alert.
school beauty pageant, right? Located in Texas, I want to say. And one of the things
Wait.
that they're required to
Texas because you're being stereotypical?
do.
or
No.
you think it's
I'm
okay,
like
okay.
90% positive it's
Okay,
Texas.
okay,
It has to be Texas. Yeah, so one of the things that they have to do is they go out to a rattlesnake roundup. They take pictures with the rattlesnakes. And one of the things that they have to do in order to like be Miss Snake Charmer, in order to compete at all, they put on trash bags. They go out. Some
Oh my
snake
god,
trappers,
that fits them so well.
some snake
You
charmers.
trash ass bitches.
Talking about looking the part.
Yep.
Yeah.
They get some Western Diamondbacks. And this is the funny part. They don't even do it themselves. The guys hold the snakes, right?
Uh-huh.
Old men. They hold the snakes and they chop the heads off, skin them, roll up the skin. I don't even know what they do with the innards, but they roll up the skin.
Make a
and
condom
like
with it.
it's like that's the initiation.
Yeah.
Really. And I'm like, I don't know what country you're from, but in America, I feel like charm has a very different connotation. Like if you're
Yeah.
charming snakes, I don't think
You're making out with
hacking them up. Yeah, you're making out with them. You're
Like,
taking
hey,
them out
yo.
to dinner.
What's good, baby?
And I was just like, wow, that's the opposite of what I thought this was gonna be.
Yeah.
This is horrible. What am I watching right now? And so back to things that annoy us. Rattlesnake roundups, the fact that they still exist is insane to me.
Okay.
They should all die.
Let me tell you why you're wrong. No, I'm just
Okay.
kidding.
Yo,
Hey,
shit.
whoa, whoa.
Yo, this is slippery.
All right, Chuck, what bothers you with reptiles or I guess the exotic animal industry, hobby, the whole thing?
Or you can talk about rattlesnake roundups, whatever.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, yeah, fuck that, and they should go die in a hole. Absolutely,
Definitely.
I'll see them in hell. Something that bothers me is when it goes back to kind of like the other podcast a little bit, but when people keep a leopard gecko, 2 snakes, 2 ball pythons, and then like crested gecko, and then they already know about animals.
God.
Yeah, it's like
Gotcha.
what are you talking about?
Yeah,
like
yeah.
when people are like you guys might hear this, but when people are like, oh, ball pythons only live in termite mounds and that's pretty much it, and it's like, have you seen them, bitch? You
Yeah.
been out
Have
there?
you been
Because
there?
motherfucker, I haven't been there, but there are videos of people that
Yeah.
are actually over there.
Right.
And then when you watch them, it's like, oh shit, that's one of the options. But them motherfuckers,
Yeah.
you can find them everywhere.
Yeah.
That's one of the options where they can be like things like that. Like corn snakes are not arboreal. I haven't found one on the ground yet. You know, like temperature specific things where it's like the caiman lizard. I was looking for some reason. I just started looking. I got the caiman lizard from here, and I started looking into it. A lot of people are like, don't go over 100 degrees. I'm like, y'all motherfuckers really, y'all just writing just to write at this point.
Yeah.
And it's like reputable reptile people too. Like, not people, but websites that people use a lot.
Okay,
Yeah.
gotcha.
So I'm like reading and I'm like, what the hell is this? Like, I don't know. I'm learning about the animal, but I already know it's over 100.
Yeah.
It has the scoot-like the scales on the top. That already tells me they like to be cooked.
Yeah.
Like an iguana, pretty much. And I'm like, all right, that has to be wrong. I know that. Somebody else reads it. They read that. That's a fact in their head. They go somewhere else, and that's why they tell everybody. And then the fucking lizards die.
Yeah.
They can't tell why. I started getting into these groups. I found the picture, like the
What do you mean
where the
groups?
picture came from in Peru, and I asked what temperatures are in that country. Bro, over 100, easy. 120, easy. So it's like, oh shit. Like, I learned because I did that. A lot of people read one thing and that's the fact. That's fucking it. That pisses me the fuck off.
Like not doing the research and thinking they already know when they
Or
should probably
doing
do more.
research, but it's the wrong research. And it's not even about doing research, because you can do research all you want from the wrong people, but if you don't understand basic biology yourself, they can tell you whatever they want and you will believe it. I've had people talk to me about animals and stuff, and like talking like they know what they're talking about, and the whole time in my head I'm like, what the hell? But those people also, if I try to fix it and tell them it's not like that, they'll be like, oh yeah, it is, because I read it here, I heard it. And it's like, if you understand basic biology,
It's like the people that say, no, I got to do my own research. And they're like, what do you mean you're going to do your own research? You got like a lab? You got test tubes? No, you're just going to go fucking read about it on Google, my guy.
You're just using another authority figure for your information.
Absolutely. And it goes from like animals themselves, keeping, diet, all those things. Like savanna monitors don't make it, and a lot of people start feeding them chickens, rodents, and all these things. They're insectivores for the most part in the wild.
Yeah.
Of course, they're not gonna fucking survive if you're feeding them like random things.
Yeah.
But nobody listens to that. Everybody just goes for what they read from people that wrote it in 1949. It's like that.
You know what though?
pisses me off.
I got a question. So like, let's say I want to get into Blue Tongued Skinks, right? I've never had one, no idea what they are. Where do I go to for information? Where can I be like? How do I keep this thing?
This is fucked.
Go to Australia.
No, this is fucked. This is fucked. But in my opinion, most people shouldn't keep these animals.
Okay.
Like 95% of people shouldn't, because they don't know what the fuck they're doing. For the most part, most animals die in the process of
Most animals die in the wild, actually.
Huh?
I'm pretty sure they all die.
Wow.
You're going to hell.
Yeah.
I was like, what is this guy talking about?
Yeah, because blue tongues, let's say they make it up to 30 years. Let's say, right? How many actually make it to that age? Not a lot, because you send them out, people are just gonna read whatever they read, and sometimes not even follow what the fuck they read as it is,
Right.
and then those animals end up dying.
You know what though? I think with in terms of captive bred animals, their lifespans are lengthened because in the wild they would not have survived.
To an extent, if you mean per individual, yes. As a whole, no. In the process of importing, how many die? In the process of having them already in captivity, how many die? In the process of breeding and selling, how many die?
I would say not nearly as much as are left in the wild.
Whoa, what?
So like with Blue Tongued Skinks, right? Let's say you're importing Blue Tongued Skinks, which is illegal, at least for Australians.
Depends,
The Australians. So like in the wild, they're obviously being predated left and right. Sometimes people are killing them out there because they just find them, they don't like them, they just kill them off.
Okay.
I would say that number is higher than probably how it is in the pet trade.
I disagree.
Why?
Because the numbers in which they are imported is higher than what we can actually have, because we know they're gonna die. And that's there's a whole video
that animals we overshoot the
Yes.
importation.
Yes.
Because we know there's gonna be a percent that dies. is what
Yeah.
you're saying.
So we're gonna
Oh,
say
yeah.
20% are gonna die, then we gotta go 20% over what we actually want to sell.
But what about captive animals? What about
captive animals
bred-
themselves?
Yeah.
Same thing. Same thing, and it's
They're
not
just dying in the hands of the keepers. He's saying.
exactly. Not
Okay.
because the animal is fucked, and that's not the animal being fucked. It's not. It's just that the usually, depending on the species, of course, they go like ball pythons a lot. They go to the hands of people that don't really know what they're doing. That's their first time on all these things, and they just read one thing, go by that. How many times, and you know this, how many times you get people just asking you guys, my snake doesn't eat, what do I do? How long has it been?
Of course.
A week.
Yeah, I
of
get it.
course.
And they don't
of
understand
course.
what's happening. You try to like explain it to them, and they don't understand it. They try to change and handle and move and more water and soak it and all these things, and it's like
Yeah.
those things mess with the animal.
Stress
So
the animal
that's
more.
why I don't think most people should have them.
I can agree that proportionately, you might be right. I feel like if we import 20 northern blue tongue skinks, right? Illegal. We import 20 northern blue tongue skinks. Maybe 10 survive just from imports, and then once they're in, and that's a big percentage. Let's say 15% or 50%. And then the people that get them, let's say only one survives. You know, you have a 90% or a 90% death rate. Only 10% survives. In
that's
the
pretty
wild,
fucked as it is.
in the wild, I would say that the numbers out there are a lot bigger than what are imported or in the pet trade.
Okay.
And so their numbers are dying more.
Yeah, but if it goes by percentage, if you look at that, you're separating the two things, but those two things add up together, not separate. Because
of
you're
course.
removing animals from the wild, and animals are dying in the wild at the same time, so you're
Right.
hurting the population from two different streams.
Yeah. Well, of
So
course,
it's like-
animals are going to die. You know.
Exactly. That's a
So
part.
you're trying to minimize the amount of animals that die because of human influence.
Yes.
Impossible.
Yes.
Okay.
There's too many
impossible.
people.
No,
There's too
impossible.
many people.
100%. But
Yeah.
within the pet trade, that's why I don't think most people should have them. Am I stopping them from that? No.
Yeah.
Like I can't do shit about
see
it.
what
you're
But it's just my opinion on it.
So, real quick, for those who are listening, he's using blue tongues as an example. He doesn't actually mean
Correct.
blue tongues.
Is any reptile? Any
Yeah,
animal.
because like blue tongues in general, they're very hardy.
Yeah.
But wouldn't you say? I don't know, man, because it's like we need people to have them for people to care. So, and I don't want to say that it's like almost hand to hand that animals need to die for people to care because you get me. But how else will people learn about them? And don't get me wrong, I in a sense I do think that the best way to learn is through trial and error. The unfortunate thing is that it comes at the animal's expense.
Yes. Right.
A lot of the things that I take to Bible these days is because of my own error.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, and it's not because of what I've read. So
Yeah.
where is the how lenient can we be on
Okay.
that whole thing?
So you want people to care about what?
The animals.
The animals.
What about the animals? Like if they
They're-
care, what changes once they care? What really changes once they care?
Their
guess-
care for the animal will change.
The
I
animal
guess.
itself, yeah, but if the animal comes from
It's saying he's saying like if I get a blue tongue, 10 animals had to die for me to get that blue tongue and have it alive.
Yeah,
you know?
like, what's-
But the only one that I'm caring about is the one that I have.
yeah.
You know, I'm not going further and trying to prevent
And
those
then-
10 from having to die
exactly.
because
and
I
then
got
what
the one.
changes there from those people? Because like you went all ham on it. Most people don't. Most people just keep 3 reptiles. They kill them and then they stop. You know.
Uh-huh.
So those people, you want them to care, but care about what? They died, and a lot of times they don't really care, or they release them and they do different things. So those people, that's why I say most people shouldn't have them.
Gotcha.
But people that are really into it, absolutely.
How do you
because
get
they-
into it?
Huh?
How do you get into it without, as Yoshii was saying, the trial and error, the some individuals having to die?
I didn't have to go through any of that because I was into it from wild animals in the beginning.
not true.
100%.
Not true.
100%.
Because here's the thing,
100%.
you know how many
we
animals,
go.
you know how many animals had to die at the previous jobs you worked at in order for you to have the experience that you have.
Well, you're okay. So I was headed towards the animals I keep at home.
Oh,
But- yeah.
okay. Well,
Yeah,
let's do it. Well, the pet trade and the
'Cause-
zoo trade, sure,
it's
maybe a little bit different.
It's different.
But not really when you were saying like how the animals have to die in order for us to learn.
But I have no control over those.
No, right.
Yeah, it's
But
like-
you're benefiting from those animals having died.
God, this is so weird.
I love it. This is what we're talking about. This is what we were talking about earlier. We're doing it. I
Calling
fucking
people
like
out.
this
It's
shit.
reversed.
Yeah.
We're
I
calling
like
him
this.
out.
Hold on. Back to it. Yes and no. Once previous job.
Uh-huh.
Once
Sure.
I went into it, I thought it was all rainbows.
Sure,
and flowers.
Of course, yeah.
Right. So once I saw it, that's when I was like, I gotta get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
Because of those same things. Those same things is what threw me off. But going into it, I didn't know what the fuck it was. And the experience I got, they didn't give it to me. I fucking stole it from them. Because they didn't let me do the things I wanted to learn.
Yeah.
I taught myself and I was like, out.
Uh-huh.
Now, in the new one, it's a lot less of that. I'm going to tell you right now.
Yeah.
So, yeah, there's
I'm sure it's less now because they've done it for so long. They've done better. But, like, so when you talk about, like, great white sharks, right, in zoos, there are none. Because people have said they are you cannot keep a great white shark in captivity. At least not yet.
Yeah.
For someone to say you cannot do it, imagine how many had to die in order for us to learn that.
Okay.
In order for us to be like, we literally
recently.
can't because we've killed so many.
Yeah, it happened recently too. Yeah,
But think about like with elephants, rhinos, any animal.
It doesn't make it like right when it comes to that. And in zoos is a little bit different because some of them, not all of them, it goes back to conservation. The pet trade usually doesn't. So that I could respect that a little bit more than just having a endangered lizard in a cage by itself, not breeding it or breeding it to its sibling. That to me is like less, like you care about the animal you have, you care about the animal inside the cage, but
you don't care about the broader picture.
Yeah, like most people are like that. That's why I think, in my opinion, like I don't give a fuck what people keep. It just, if I was a god,
You are.
I am him. If I was a god, I mean, when I grow up and I become a powerful god, more powerful god.
There you go.
There you go. I wouldn't allow certain people to keep them because of that. Because it's just, I don't know. Like when it comes to keeping things in cages, a lot of people just care about that, the animal inside a cage, and sometimes is a fucked cage.
Back to things that annoy me in the reptile industry. Gatekeeping is actually terrible.
So can you? Because we've had. What's up?
I'm a spick. What does that really mean?
That's what I was about to ask.
Okay. I guess, so let's say venomous or crocodilian licenses, right? You're of the mindset that some people shouldn't have them, which I agree 100%. Most people should not have crocodilian or venomous permits. With that said, if you are like, I will take no apprentices, I will show no one what I know because of my value system, that is gatekeeping.
That is somebody's opinion, and somebody worked for their own hours.
But correct. But that instinct where it's like, I benefited, but I will not push that to anyone else.
Absolutely, to an extent, because you could also, let's say you're my apprentice and you get bit by something, that's on me.
No, I understand that. No, I understand, but like, if it's like to the point, I understand telling individual people no, but if you're literally constantly telling people no, and you're saying the mindset, I don't like people doing this, I don't want people to keep doing this. That is gatekeeping. Yeah,
he's saying in the sense of like, I do not want to throw my knowledge out there for somebody else because I think no. In a sense of like let's say there was only one guy working with crocodilians, one guy, and he's like, I'm not gonna teach anybody anything. And I get it, like that's his opinion, but is that okay for the benefit of the hobby? Is that what you're trying to say?
Yeah.
Okay. There he goes.
It's a tricky line.
There's two things to make because I just asked that question.
I became a gatekeeper right now.
No.
The process.
Not like that. Like I do like teaching people, but I've also met people that like shouldn't teach.
And I think vetting is proper.
It's like I know people that I'm like, don't teach nobody that shit.
If someone trusted you to have this information, then that means that they trust you to dispel that information.
Exactly. And a lot of people just want to go knock on a door and it's like, yo, can I do this? I don't fucking know you, dog.
Exactly.
You're not coming in here and working with venomous or crocodiles. You get fucked, and that's on me.
Yeah,
absolutely not.
Exactly.
So that's the hard part for a lot of people is getting into those circles.
Right.
Yeah.
And then those people within those circles get fucked over so many times they want to fuck with nobody.
But let's say not to that extreme.
Yeah,
because I think that
bring it down from the permits. Because those are like,
okay.
If you're gatekeeping up there, there's somebody
within
might
reason.
Die.
Right.
You know, like there's a line there where people might die.
When I got into the reptile hobby, there was a lot of it. And with things as simple as ball python breeding. Okay, I think this is a little bit more like grounded, where it's like, yo, should there be people gatekeeping about like, damn, I don't want to fucking tell you. It's one thing about trade secrets. Okay, it's one thing like, this is the way that I do it, I don't want, but it's more like, I guess you're saying like, people that aren't letting out their knowledge are like, they rather keep the industry in just a small little cup. They're
with
like
people that they know. Yeah.
Yeah, is that
And
what?
the same people.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
what you're trying to say.
And I mean, the same thing exists with crocodilians and with venomous and with any kind of permitting. But yeah, even something not as dire, something
if you
not
go
as consequential.
down, if you go down, then I'd be like, all right, then people are just pussy.
And like you said, I can understand people protecting their business.
Maybe
not
because
wanting to
this
say
is
too
something
much.
that's really close to home, but. And I hope I don't get any heat for this, but I'm coming out with it.
yeah.
Gay.
Oh, yeah! That's why I do this podcast, so I can hang out with you guys. But no, okay. The Blue Tongued Skink community, specifically, in my opinion, is, and now I'm going to get shunned, is very toxic. In the sense of, like, it's one thing I get it because we don't get imports from Australia with the northern blue tongues, and we don't want to mix them with Indonesian species because we want to keep it as pure as possible, as we say, because there's nobody that has fucking lineage all the way down there. Bro, listen, I'm Hispanic, bro. You guys too. People talk out of their ass all the fucking time, and they're yeah, bro, it's fucking this, it's fucking that, you know, whatever. So what they do is they are very a lot of people in the community have been very pretentious. They're like, oh no, I need to have fucking the grandfather, the father, the and the Holy Spirit of the lineage of this fucking of this animal. And then they're also when I got into it, I bought animals from Imperial. My first 2 Blue Tongued Skinks was a pair from Alex, and there's a guy, I mean, he's did help me a lot with breeding. He's definitely one of my mentors, but his whole thing was like, you need to get rid of those animals because you don't know, like, the parents. You don't know their grandparents. And then a couple years later, the conversation was, are you still breeding those animals? Like, why do you still have them? It's like trash. You get me? And it's just like, yo, like, first off, I'm not going to lie to anybody as an honest businessman. I'm not gonna lie to anybody and say like, no, this is from this person and that person. Like, no, like, I got it from Alex from Imperial. Yeah, that's as much as I know, you know. And I think that as far as gatekeeping goes, it's like we should be, especially in that part of the community, like a little bit more lenient, because now what we're experiencing in that subcategory of the reptile industry is Blue Tongued Skinks are not as popular because of that. The prices of them are dropping. Which sucks. And in my opinion, I do think they are the superior pet lizards. I think that they're a lot more hardy than a bearded dragon. Yeah, they move a lot more than a bearded dragon, and they do cost a little more than a bearded dragon. And I do think like what comes up must go down, and vice versa. So yeah, the prices are gonna go down, they're gonna go back up. But the thing is, it's just like, it's because of the attitude that the community had towards certain people just getting into it that is now causing issues with Blue Tongued Skinks.
Would you say
I can see that.
Would the lineage matter though? Does it matter?
It matters to them.
I think, don't get me wrong.
It should though.
It definitely does. But to tell somebody that their whole situation is trash and talk mad shit like, yo, this person does this shit, what the fuck? Yo, that's pussy shit, dude.
Yeah.
Yo, like, mind your own fucking business. Let people do whatever the fuck they want to do. Like, there was a time where, I mean, it was like public, so I guess I could talk about it. But like Tiki's Geckos, they were helping a friend of theirs sell a hybrid Blue Tongued Skink. It wasn't something that they produced. They are helping somebody sell it, and they're saying, "Yo, this is a hybrid Blue Tongued Skink. If you want something like this, whatever." Super transparent, and the community lost their shit and wanted to blacklist the fucking thing. And I get it. We might not want these hybrids. Me, I'm actually okay with hybrids in captivity. You gotta be transparent about that shit, you know. But it's that stigma.
You know what I just learned?
What?
With so Eric at Reptiverse, he works at Imperial. One of the things that he said that he actually taught me. He's actually a really big dog guy. He loves dogs.
He's a dog ass bitch.
He loves dogs. And one of the things that I didn't know that he taught me was that sometimes with certain pedigrees or certain breeds, you can go ahead and make the purchaser of a puppy sign a contract that says they will not breed that animal.
Oh yeah?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, and I'm like, for hybrids, I'm kind of like, I don't know about I still don't know how I feel ethically about that situation with the contract signing. But like, maybe that's a potential solution. You know, you say, hey, I want to go ahead and have an animal that looks that cool. I want to have a crocodile alligator mix. And I understand that people don't want that to exist.
That's scientifically incorrect.
With none of them.
Thing. So
you're saying it's impossible?
Yes. Crocodile and alligator is the same difference as a human and a monkey.
Have you tried it?
Huh?
Have you
Bro,
tried breeding a monkey?
Yeah, mate with a monkey, Chucky.
A monkey. I'm not saying a chimp. I'm saying a monkey.
Yeah.
Like
mate with a
capuchin,
monkey.
bro.
Yeah.
Like
No, yeah,
alligators
yeah.
and crocs live
Yeah.
together. They
I get
can't
it.
hybridize.
Yeah, yeah.
They're too far.
Okay, well, bad example. Let's
Yeah,
say
horrible.
if it was possible.
But this is the thing, like how much this is. Listen, bro, I'm a conspiracy guy. I don't 100% believe in science
All right,
sometimes.
bet.
I'm gonna uppercut you right now. Go ahead.
Listen, I'm all like, yo, all this shit is theories, right? But here's the thing. So a true hybrid is something that when it happens, they cannot breed again. That's from what I
For their-
understand.
To an
make
extent.
their
like
own.
a
To an
mule.
extent. To an
Yeah.
extent.
Yeah.
To an extent. There's different versions, but go ahead.
No.
So-
I think his version is the correct version.
There are multiple versions of hybridizing through DNA for a reason, but go ahead.
But
So-
you're making whatever.
Go ahead.
So when it comes to that, it's like, okay, it's weird that like when you say that like hybrids cannot breed
Like a
further.
liger.
Yeah, exactly, right?
Mm-hmm.
But then there's like when it comes down to turtles, which is where it gets real weird for me because turtles are so different. But there are red ear yellow belly hybrids, those are sliders, fine. But there's also red ear and something cooter hybrids. There's red ear Mississippi map hybrids. There's red ear diamondback terrapin hybrids. There's diamondback red belly cooters. There's diamondback Mississippi or map turtles.
Does that make it right?
No. But there's the thing. So like, I mean, I have an active project right now breeding diamondback terrapins with Mississippi map.
Cancel.
But let me explain to you why. This is why.
Christ.
This is why. This is not for the industry. This is for people to be able to have access to what they cannot anymore, which is diamondback terrapins.
Yeah.
Because I personally,
In Florida.
yeah. Well, and also there's other states where you
There's
can't
other
have
states where
them.
they're banned too?
Yeah.
Wow, damn.
Because they're endangered, and I get it. Okay, and this is the problem. It's transparency and hoping and praying that people are being responsible.
Yeah.
That's another one. I was about to go right there.
There's a lot of faith in
and
people.
that is the problem. And with that specific project, I mean, with the diamondback terrapins that I have made, I give them away. I give them away to my very trusted friends. I don't sell them. And this is probably going to be a similar situation where it's like the reason why I do the project is because I do think that people have like a very weird stigma with turtles when they're like, oh, salmonella, fucking, they get too big, whatever. And diamondback terrapins for me were one of the first turtles where I was like, yo, that just got a fucking personality.
Yeah.
Yeah, that shit, you saw it blinking. It's probably gonna stop. But yeah, this fucking thing has a personality, and my people would come to visit Gary. That was my diamondback terrapin. People would come to visit Gary. People love Gary. People can't have Garys anymore.
No.
So what am I doing? I'm saying, hey, you know what?
Kind of make something that's not a Gary.
I'm trying to make something
That's
that's
delicious.
close enough. Did
Close
you say
enough
that's
to a Gary.
delicious?
No,
Oh.
that's close enough to a Gary.
Gotcha. I thought you said that's delicious.
No. Turtle meat
but-
is bad.
So
But then if that keeps going and people release some and that's in the wild, it
that's
goes
the
back
problem. Yeah, so that's the problem, and that's why I
to
think
you.
it's
This evidence.
yeah. No. And I mean, I've been with things that I've said in the past. I mean, I'm very open about the hybrid
yeah.
stuff.
Jesus.
You all right, bro?
Yeah, my ear just
Popped or something?
It just like hurt for a minute.
Yeah?
Fuck, yeah.
It's because of me. I'm hurting him.
Yeah. All the words that's coming out.
I
He's
guess
bleeding.
so. I know it hurts.
Hey everyone, I'm the owner of Imperial Reptiles and Exotics. We are a reptile specialty store located in Orlando, Florida. We carry a full line of premium reptile supplies as well as quality reptiles. You could also find all of our reptiles and supplies available online at www.imperialreptiles.com.
Welcome back to another News of the Week segment. If you know about Miami, you know Miami doesn't usually get cold. About once a year for a small short time, it'll be between maybe high 40s to mid 50s. And this weekend, actually on Saturday, it's supposed to get in the 30s, mid 30s. That doesn't happen often. It's supposed to be the coldest in 10 years. Now, if you're wondering why I bring up the weather in a reptile news segment, is because there's this article called Raining, quote unquote, Reptiles Weather Warning Issued as Iguanas Fall from Sky in Florida. Now, you're probably thinking, if you're not from Florida or from South Florida, falling iguanas from the sky, that doesn't make any sense. When the temperature gets to about like mid 40s to low 40s, iguanas they go into like a shock. And this article is just explaining how it doesn't happen often because it doesn't get that cold often, but every year we'll have that spurt where it'll get that temperature, and you know, you have to be careful. Not that you have to be careful, you can't just go around like looking at every tree, but you know, it's happened where random iguanas will just fall. So these iguanas, sometimes they'll recover and they'll be fine. You know, sometimes they don't make it, but and then other times it's happened where it's falling on people or right in front of people or right next to people, and it's kind of crazy. Yeah, iguanas fall from the sky. So again, it's from Evening Standard, and the title is Raining Reptiles Weather Warning Issued as Iguanas Fall from the Sky in Florida. In case you want to read over the article or anything, or you can hear Josh and I talk about it in the podcast upcoming. If you want to tune into that, we'll see you there if you go. Otherwise, I'll get back to the guys.
No, but yeah, so I'm okay with hybrids as long as, like, you understand, like, yo, like, I'm being fucking... The person that you're selling it to is responsible. I don't think that that's something that... I'm not sure if I'd feel comfortable selling something like that to the public. Especially...
but that's something where a contract, like how they have for dog pedigrees,
because
might
you could give
come
it
in
to somebody,
handy.
they breed it, they sell it, it
But
goes
this
to
is
the
the thing.
public, goes back to you.
But if it's a true hybrid, it would... If it... Don't... I'm not saying to release your shit, guys. If it got out, would it hurt?
We're touching something else that is another
that is not true.
hatred that I have, or annoyance. I'll say annoyance.
And guys, wait. I'm not
Yeah.
saying that I'm with this. I'm not saying, yo,
It's-
release your hybrid.
It's a theory. What
Yeah.
if, yeah.
Yeah.
Would it be?
We're touching on another
Now I'm
thing
excited.
that's
Okay.
very, very bothersome with me in the hobby, and it is taxonomic stupidity. It is scientists,
Whoa.
and scientists gatekeep too.
I never do my
scientists
taxes.
really. The IRS is coming for us. But taxonomic stupidity, where a scientist will just literally just republish something on a specific species, just say it's something else for whatever bullshit reason, and it automatically changes. What a true
There has to be
hybrid
evidence,
is.
though.
What a true hybrid is.
Is
Is it? Yeah. Go for it. Go for
ahead.
it.
You fucked up. Go ahead.
For science purposes. For science purposes. Is, according to taxonomic purposes,
Go ahead.
is an interspecies cross, where two animals from the same genus, different species cross, and their offspring is no longer cannot produce more of themselves. You know, that, like a mule. A mule cannot produce another mule, no
Yep.
matter how many times it's mated with a mule, because of genetic infertility. That is how it's supposed to be, and I think that's how taxonomy should go forward and be like, can this animal hybridize? Now, that is a very, very controversial sentence, because that implies that we have to test it. That implies that we have to see if animals can hybridize, which is a horrible, horrible idea. So, and then from there, we could further say, this is an animal within this genus, even if it looks different, because the fact that it can produce the fact that it produces infertile offspring shows that it is within the same genus. And that's how I think taxonomy should be dealt with. Now, do scientists agree with that? No, absolutely not. They think if this is from this continent and this is from another continent, they are not related at all. They should be separate genuses. Or if this one lays eggs and this one doesn't, they can still be in the same genus just because they inhabit the same niche and look the same. And I think that is...
There's more to that.
bothers me so much.
There's more to that, like genetics. There's more to that. So the Sukis Crocodile
Hell yeah.
lives with the Nile, same area. They don't breed.
They're racist.
Croxist.
Croxist.
I like it. So Sukis is the oldest crocodilian that still lives, and it's more closely related to the ones in the Americas. What does that mean? That crocodile or an ancestor?
You're talking about
from that-
genetic relation, right?
Yes.
Like genetic, like DNA
yeah.
similarities.
Yeah. So that crocodile, when all the Earth was some bullshit, separated into different habitats, and it became the Orinoco, it became the Morelettes, it became all of those.
Sure.
So they still have a direct path back to the Sukis. So if the Sukis comes around and gets with another, like let's say a Morelette, the reason they can breed is because their line is directly connected. That's why if they have a hybrid, the hybrid can still have babies because they're directly connected to one another. If the connection was too far back, or it goes Sukis and then there's something else that comes after and it comes from that second one, then no, they wouldn't. But the hybrid will be what you call a hybrid.
But they choose not to hybridize, you're saying. The Nile and the Sukis choose not to do it.
They're in the same area opposite. So another example,
It's
New
like
Guinea.
they have the option to, but they
No,
don't.
They
no,
choose-
not
Okay,
even, not
okay.
even. So New Guinea crocodile, for
separated.
example, it's New Guinea, right?
Yeah.
There's mountains in the middle. New Guinea crocodiles in the top.
They're
Halls
separated,
in the
of course.
bottom. There's certain areas where they meet. I just learned this shit. This is new shit to me. But Morelet crocodile and American crocodiles. The American goes South America, Central, Mexico, Caribbean, Florida. The Morelets is only in Mexico, and there's one spot where they meet. And there are hybrids of Morelet Americans that happen naturally. So if they keep doing that, yes, they become their own species. Same thing with the Cuban in Cuba. With Americans, they're hybridizing and they're making their own quote unquote species through time.
But no, they can't make their own species because they can't reproduce more of themselves.
They
if
can't.
they're
They
a
can't.
hybrid.
They can.
But
They can.
okay,
They
but
can.
then wouldn't you
They can.
wouldn't you say
they're that close related?
Then according to my thing, they wouldn't be separate species.
Bro,
Why would they be?
Even better. Now this
it's
is
like saying you and a chimp are not are the same species.
Except
at this
if I
point.
can breed with a chimp, that implies we're the same genus.
They've tried it, but we
You're right. You're
Yeah,
right.
that-
That's where
you-
Corona came from.
no, they actually tried fetus. Legally, you could have a fetus, but you can't.
What is he talking about right now? A fetus with what?
A monk, a chimp, and a human.
Whoa!
Hey,
That was
yo,
a- hey,
hey,
yo.
That was a thing. That was a thing in a lab. But legally, you can't make it happen. So probably you can make a fucking human
Okay, but
chimp.
this is
But
the
then you
thing.
don't know if it's gonna. Like you don't know if a human and a chimp have a fucking child and that child can have more kids. Does that make us chimps? No, motherfucker. We're still.
What if-
And the Cuban and the American.
I mean, if
They're not the
anything, that
same
just
thing.
shows how loose taxonomy is.
But
it
this is
shows
the thing,
how
what
loose.
No, because you're only using one rule of hybridizing, which
Yeah.
is the one.
That's the only one that's testable. Other than, I think that one looks different. That one's a different shape. That one inhabits a different area.
Not even genetics, all of it. You can look back to where they came from, to what other
But
animals
what if?
they're related
What
to.
if? Now listen, I'm just throwing this shit out here. What if the hybridized process for things that can and reproduce is just a part of evolution?
It can be, but you can't force it because if you do, you're gonna
But
mess up.
who am I to stop it?
But okay, let's say this.
Nobody's
then.
stopping it.
Let's say this.
Who am I to stop if I'm making fucking happen?
No, you're making it happen at your house. That's fucked. Because
Gotcha.
if something happens,
saying
and
I'm a bad person.
If something happens and you let it out, it goes back to you. If it affects the ecosystem, goes back to you. If that animal, that hybrid, becomes illegal,
Yeah.
or they start tracking people down for that, they're
Yeah.
coming
Well,
down
what
for
about
you.
what about natural integrates?
Define.
So like, let's say locality crosses, right? With like bull snakes.
Yes.
You have Kankakee, you have Kingsville Reds, you have Sonora
about 'em?
Gophers, a
What
different
about 'em?
species. They interbreed. They have integrate zones that they
Yeah.
go ahead and interbreed, but they're the same species still.
Yes.
You know, not the Sonorans, but like the Kingsville and the Kankakees. Let's say they could, and they had that integrate zone. And actually, I think the Deppies do integrate with anyway.
whatever.
bull snakes.
Whatever the fuck happens.
They are the same species, but they are locality crosses, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And so at that point, it's like we acknowledge they're the same species, even though they're hybridizing, but because they can reproduce with more of their localities, they can still, like, if you got a Kingsville Red cross Kankakee, right? And a
Mm-hmm.
Kingsville Red cross Kankakee, they could produce viable offspring. They
Yes.
could produce more of themselves.
Yes, but again, those are mostly localities, and they have to be similar.
But then what's the
enough.
difference
They
between-
have to be similar enough. Can you look at DNA, motherfucker?
Yes.
I don't think it matters.
It does matter.
I
100%
think
matters.
if you can go ahead and mate with something and produce an offspring, right? That implies that you are more closely related than that you are so closely related.
Yeah,
I don't care how
absolutely.
different you look.
Yeah,
I don't care
absolutely.
how different
it
your
means you're
DNA
closely
is.
related, but it doesn't make you the same. So making that
Correct.
hybrid can make a negative effect on the species itself.
But this is the thing.
Probably.
But like,
I don't deny.
but how
like
much of it is
batwings,
true?
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Batwing,
Yeah, yeah.
rattlesnakes. If you have an EDB with the, I forget what the other one is, timber?
Yeah.
One of them.
Yeah,
which is-
an EDB and a timber. That is a larger rattlesnake. It's not as large as EDBs can get, but that's still a larger
Yeah,
rattlesnake.
if
That
you
could
introduce
easily outcompete the timbers.
Exactly, and you take that animal out. If it happens in the wild, it happens in the wild, and it happens. Like those animals, Cuban Americans happen more like
I'm literally
Americans
Cuban
happen.
Nicaraguan. It's
Locality cross.
Yeah,
bro.
exactly. That's way different than what a species in a hybrid is. The hybrid is something like once you make a hybrid, you don't know what those effects can have on the ecosystem. So
Okay,
that's a
so-
fuck no.
We
Oh,
have
wait. This is the thing. So this is why I'm like, damn, dude, fucking science, bro. But okay, so Aryan Jaya blue tongues. I think their species is Tiliqua sp, like species general.
Yeah.
But then the eastern blue tongue is its own thing, right?
Own
But-
thing as species or
Unkiness.
No, it's its own. It's Tiliqua skinkoides something. I
A
believe.
subspecies.
subspecies.
Yeah. But then, from I think when I'm not a fucking anything science, bro. Listen,
you're
bro.
scared, bitch.
No, this is the thing. So, but from what I understand is when Pangea, right? So that's how they separate it, right? But for me, I've seen a lot of like Aryan Gyas and Easterns, and bro, it looks so similar. Like, what is the actual difference other than the fuck that we're saying there's a difference? But this was just general. And
Have
now
you
look
looked
at this.
into it?
Probably
But
localities.
and then now
Have
the
you looked
Stimsons.
into it?
But there's the thing. So the Stimsons and the children's pythons, didn't they just say they're the same fucking thing now?
Yep.
Have
Yo,
you
who's
looked
making
into
this
it?
shit up, dude?
No,
Scientists are just
absolutely
throwing shit around.
That's what science is, though. Science, bro. We thought the Earth was fucking flat for a very long time, motherfucker.
Dude.
So
It is.
We so we evolve as we go. But yes, that happens a lot, especially with crocodiles. I'm sick and tired of this bullshit. It's a new one every fucking month. But you're like, you stupid as fuck. They're not breeding because that's a Sukis, that's a Nile, motherfucker.
Yeah.
But it happens a lot.
Crocodiles are like the variants of fucking COVID. There's
Bro,
like
I
this
think
new one
it
all the
pisses
fucking
me
time.
the
I think
fuck off.
personally, you have a lot of faith in science when a majority, I would say,
Science is wrong
most-
all the time, but that
most-
doesn't make it. It doesn't make
I'd
it.
say most of science is appeal to authority. Some authority figure says something, and the scientific community,
Disagree.
if they can't disagree, they say, "All right, we're backing that up."
Yeah,
F it. Write it down.
until you can go against it and prove it. That's what
You're gonna
science
prove-
is.
you're gonna prove
motherfucker.
hybrids?
Motherfucker, that's you gotta prove it.
So how do you define species? What makes something a different species than another, and what then makes something a hybrid?
So, like you said, location, visually different. Another thing is anatomy. There's a lot of things you don't see, and bone structure is very important when it comes to that. Because some of them have extra shit, and then you're like, oh, the fuck is this? To develop a bone,
Right.
the whole other group of animals don't have it.
But why does
That-
that matter if I can mate with that animal?
Why wouldn't it matter? It can have an effect. If okay,
What if
But you're
that's
saying,
a regular
but you're
part
saying
of
any
evolution?
little thing can change a species. Like any
To an
little
extent,
thing
yes.
makes this a new species.
To a massive extent, absolutely.
I
To a
disagree.
massive extent.
I disagree 500%.
You sound real fucking stupid.
No,
I'm-
no.
You do.
No.
You do. You really do. You really do.
Wait, but what if
Like,
it makes it better? For real. What if like when you're looking at if we're looking at
Give an
bone-
example.
No, just okay. So let's say I were to breed throwing shit out there. What if like I'm like, damn, like all these ball pythons, like for some reason they don't keep weight well. No ball python keeps weight well. What the fuck? And then I'm like, let me cross it with a blood python because they keep weight well.
I'm going
Then-
to change your mind right now.
Yeah,
I'm
dogs constantly. They're constantly changing dogs.
Yes.
Cows constantly changing.
Sorry, we got somebody coming in.
Pigs constantly hybrids. Chickens constantly hybrids. Those are not pure animals.
Yeah,
Those
yeah.
are animals that have been bred to be better
Those
for
animals
us.
don't exist in the wild anymore.
Nope.
For what they were. So absolutely that can happen, but then that is pretty much like what is that? Like just human selfish acts. But if that's because those animals are domestic. If we're to domesticate those animals, right? And then those animals get out and affect the environment, that's different because you don't know what
But what if
effects
it made
will
it
have.
How?
How would it make it
I don't
better?
know, but what
if you
if?
change the environment
Uh-huh.
to that aspect, there are gonna be good things
What
and
say
also
this.
bad
What
things.
if we
this.
did that? What if we made blood with balls? Let's
No,
say,
I have a better
and they were
example.
able to hold their weight
I have a
better,
good
and they were
example.
able
Hold
to
on,
thrive better
hold
in
on.
the environment.
But you know what's
and
gonna
they
happen?
made the
Hold on,
environment better.
I agree.
What
It wouldn't.
if?
I agree with
wouldn't.
this.
Okay, if you breed those two things together, let's say
Okay.
the ball pythons changes in size. It changes on what it preys on, and everything it was preying on already is gonna double down on that and anything bigger. So
Fuck
it's
'em.
going to affect.
Gone. I'm
Fuck
kidding.
you.
No,
Piece of
I'm
shit.
kidding. I'm
So,
kidding.
but let's say
I'm
this. Let's say
kidding.
this. Let's say this. Okay, let's say a piece of the Amazon is
Okay.
protected, right? And in that certain piece, because this does happen, mountain regions
Okay.
where people, where certain species are only specific to that region.
Yeah.
You know, and for that reason, they're endangered. They're protected because they literally can't live anywhere else.
Yep.
So let's say an animal that is that specialized for that environment. Let's say that piece of the Amazon gets taken for development, right? The last guy who was conserving it, he sells it. You know, that species is going to die if you don't do something quickly. Let's say you go ahead and hybridize it with a species that is more more generalized. Example, let's say you take Colombian boas and Surinams. Let's say the entire continent or the entire country of Suriname for some reason is under development. We're taking it out. It's becoming a big farm, whatever. You know, all the Surinams die. All the Suriname boas die. If you interbred, please, this is just theory.
Hearsay, yeah.
You cross the BIs with the BCs, you know, the Colombians with the Suriname so that they can become more specialized so that they can survive elsewhere, you know.
Listen,
In
guys,
that instance, are you
there's a-
saying
there's
fuck
an
the Suriname
example.
boa, let them die?
Yes, because of the effects. Because of the effects it can have. Like once you make that
But
right
isn't
now,
that
What
like
about the
against
effects when
that-
there's all of the
But isn't that against
that's,
like
boa
that's
goes
actually
away?
happening right now. That's actually happening right now in Florida. Guess the animal.
cane toads.
Pussy. No,
it's a cat. It's a pussy.
Oh, there we
Yes.
go. There we go.
it's the panther.
Oh,
the panther.
really?
Yeah, the panther. You think that Florida panther is 100% Florida panther anymore?
but
They've
they don't-
re-released.
yeah,
they
they-
released the cougar from the west
Yeah,
side,
yeah.
which changes the length of
I
their
hear that they
feet on the
fucking
legs.
do that. Why do they do that shit?
Because
To
we didn't
keep
have
it
enough.
better.
We didn't have enough to try
To
keep it
try to
better,
keep it
but they
better.
fucked it up. They're all gonna die
Why?
as it is. It changes the length of their legs.
Sure.
They can't move as well as the Florida panther could through the swamps. The reason they have short legs is to
But
be able to.
just to
go down
clarify,
Damn, kill it,
you
yo.
would prefer Florida Panthers just not exist anymore.
I would prefer
Because that changes
I would
the
prefer-
ecosystem itself
I
as
And
well.
that's
prefer-
against
I
that's
would-
against animal conservation right
I,
there.
I would prefer for them not to have been in that position. So now that they
You're
are,
But
asking
now
too
that they
much.
are,
We
now that
already
they
are in
are
this
in the
place.
position, what do we do?
oh, they're gonna kill them regardless at this point. So yes, I want them to survive, and I would like for them
And
to
this is
survive.
why
but the
captive
genetics
breeding is
so fucked
important.
up.
I
It's
kind of
not.
agree.
It's not.
But
It's not
why?
because they fuck up the genetics every time. Other than zoos, people fuck up the genetics.
No, I
every
don't think
time.
that.
I don't think
well,
people
that big
randos
cat.
should be
no,
breeding
no, no, no.
panthers.
But
But
I'm
that's
saying, but
not
what
panthers.
if we had a program for panthers? Just
There
panthers,
is.
right? Okay, but what if we had it before they started introducing the West Coast? They're like mountain lions, right? So what they're calling, or what they
They're
call
cougars.
Yeah,
They're all the same
exactly.
animal.
Yeah, exactly. But so what if we had that program intact, so that way we can introduce them? Like, yo, we're
Introduce
starting to lose.
purebreds
How do you
back in.
convince somebody to start that?
The
To start
indigos.
there.
The indigos started to become more endangered, and people saw that gopher tortoise burrows were being ravaged. So they got a bunch in the captivity, bred them, and now they're releasing them at certain points in Georgia
Completely
and the
different.
Panhandle.
But
I don't-
panther, a
You're right. You're right.
Oh,
You're right.
come
Snake
on.
and
It's
a
so hard.
big
Come
cat,
on.
it is
Look, especially people
all of this,
do want
a lot of
them
this is
dead.
hearsay, and we're fucking joking around right now. But yeah, like it's like I mean, it's so hard because there's like such a big difference in dynamic of these fucking animals.
Yeah,
When
yeah.
you're talking about a fucking like that, a fucking cougar, and then we got a little
Yeah.
snake, and then I'm talking about I breed fucking terrapins in my backyard
Yeah,
for
yeah,
fun.
yeah.
You know, but yeah, no, it's definitely difficult, but
And what if it's an animal that's crucial for that environment? So, like, let's say cheetahs.
They're gonna die. And you know why?
But if you could breed cheetahs to lions, not a scientist speaking right now, let's say it were possible,
This is
so that they could go ahead and continue to go ahead and live out there because they're such an integral part of that ecosystem. Because all of a sudden you get rid of one species
know
of an
what? I
ecosystem,
think-
a lot changes.
I think it's when do we pick animal conservation, and like when do we pick animal conservation versus like the ecological
yeah.
Ecosystem does what it wants. Like what you're trying to do is morph it into whatever humans want to have. You know how many people you pass that where you're just gonna hybridize shit. You know how many people are just gonna throw out random shit just to throw out random
No,
shit.
people shouldn't throw out random shit either.
It's human nature.
Okay.
It's human nature to just start doing wild shit.
I mean, the scientists would be in charge of it. Random
That's not
people
true.
couldn't do it.
That's not true.
No, random people
That's not
could
true.
not
That's
do
not true.
stuff like that.
I 100% disagree.
No.
Carol Baskin is one.
There we go.
100%.
There it
Yeah,
is.
Carol
I knew it was
Baskin's
coming.
hybridizing shit.
Listen, Chuck's got the tea.
Yeah.
Chuck has the tea.
You think random people are capable of that kind of thing?
All you need is a permit, buddy.
I don't.
All you need is a permit. Who's gonna stop you? Who? What
Your
sci-
own brain.
What
the fact that
scientist?
you don't understand what the hell you're doing.
Bro, he's hybridizing turtles at his house right now. Who's stopping him?
This guy
Well, they haven't
breeds
done it.
turtles.
Yeah.
He keeps turtles. That's his job.
That's what I mean. That's what I mean. People will have those animals hybridized, and
But this is a specialized person. This is someone who keeps it, not randos out there.
But-
there's versions of him.
And then there's other assholes.
Exactly.
I see.
There's versions
I
of
see what you're saying.
him
I
that
see
would
what
do
you're
that and do the opposite of what he's doing.
I see what you're saying.
That's where it's like humans ain't shit. That's why I wouldn't want humans to like if we're affecting the environment to the point where we are, just stop that shit.
Yeah.
I think it's impossible.
But no, it's
Right.
Fuck
But here,
this. It's
actually,
impossible.
so I was talking with someone recently about what is natural versus what is artificial. So one of the things that I was saying is like with the Big Bang, even if we could replicate the results of the Big Bang in a laboratory, that does not prove that happened organically. That happened without intelligent intervention.
yep, that's why
in
it's a
fact,
theory.
it proves that it's possible with intelligent intervention. You know, and a lot of people don't like that. They say, "Oh, you're trying to put intelligence onto the Big Bang, onto evolution. You're talking about God. You know, whatever." when I was talking to this individual, he was saying because we're humans, because we're a part of this ecosystem, we're a part of the planet of the product of evolution. Everything we do is natural.
Yeah.
We are the top predator in the food chain, the apex predator. We decide what lives and dies. Now, that is a very, very controversial statement right there, because humans also have morals. They don't want to just kill animals en masse because why not?
I met a couple.
Yeah. Everybody that eats meat, everybody that supports the commercial meat industry, you're one of them.
That girl we watched the video of, there's a couple of them bitches.
Yeah. So, like, he's talking about the Miss Snake Charmer video.
Yeah. Come on, dog.
But yeah, what would you say to that? That
What's nature?
we are the product of evolution. We are the apex predator on this planet. We decide what lives and dies. As a natural source of food chain, as environmental changes.
agree with
We can do that. And that can be a thing. And we are part of nature, but we separate it from nature once we push nature away. With that being said, yes, we can follow that to whatever point you want and call it natural. But what it leads to is us being fucked and dying regardless. So
I think. I'm sorry,
is it to our benefit?
Well,
absolutely
according
not.
to evolution and natural selection, it wouldn't. Human beings would go ahead and get to a point where the environment could not sustain us, and the environment would check us either through viruses, infections, plague.
A fucking
What's
rock.
going on right now, dude? What's happening?
The
A rock hitting the earth?
environment
Yeah.
checks it.
Yeah.
Even in micro
Oof,
ecosystems.
I can't talk about this on camera, but I got a bang for that.
So the planet would figure it out. We could not fuck it up so hard.
yes, we can.
No, I don't think so.
Hey, bro, absolutely.
Because the number of humans would reduce, and then the Earth could recoup. The Earth could
if
recover.
it's not too late.
Dude, how are you gonna? You
If
think
it's
human
not too
beings
late.
are capable
Okay,
of
okay,
making
okay.
the
Civilization
Earth
has
system?
started over and over again for that.
Listen,
yeah.
let's say we start cutting all trees down and start rebuilding and shit, right? Then something happens, we get fucked, our numbers cut down. There's concrete everywhere, buddy.
Yeah.
By the time it comes back, does it have time to come back?
Yeah.
Barely.
With less humans, yeah.
What if something blows and what it happens is that dust covers the sun once again?
Yeah, dude.
Right?
You're talking about an extinction level event.
Absolutely.
Animals have survived extinction level events.
Absolutely.
You don't think the apex predator of the planet, human beings, the most intelligent beings to ever live, would figure it out?
No.
You're
I don't know,
we're pretty
bro.
stupid.
I don't know.
We're pretty
I'm on the
stupid.
fence
You're
with this.
stupid.
No. Humans are pretty fucking stupid, bro. Everything we do
In
leads
general,
to
yes, but collectively,
100%. 100%.
You know what?
We're
Though,
smart.
this is the problem. This is the problem. And this is exactly what I'm going to tie into what my pet peeve is.
bet.
Oh,
Nice.
shit, here we
Back
go.
on topic.
My pet peeve is that there's too many people in this reptile industry that cannot have a conversation like this and not be at each other's throats.
I'm about to fuck them up
what
outside.
what I'm about,
Bet.
and what I'm trying to say is that's the problem with human beings is that we can't have a conversation without being at each other.
Dog, it's too many of us to talk.
And
Yeah.
that's
9
the thing.
billion people.
So it's like, do I think that we can put our heads together and surpass something? Yes. Do I think we will? No,
Fuck no.
because
Yeah.
we can't fucking be in
Yeah.
a room together with people. Somebody's on the right, somebody's on the left, and we cancel culture.
Yeah.
And
Thanos
we're
was
at-
fucking right.
There we go. Thanos was right.
Yeah.
But this is that's my pet peeve
Yeah,
with
yeah,
the
yeah.
hobby. It's
Yeah.
like we can't have a conversation without being like, no, fuck them because this and that. It's like, yo, like
Yeah.
we're 3 people that have different opinions on something, and we argue, and guess
Yeah.
what? We're gonna leave this room and probably jerk each other off.
Yeah,
it's all
yeah,
good.
yeah, absolutely.
Hey,
Not
yo.
fucking
You're not a
touching
part
me,
of it?
dog.
You're not a part of
You're
it?
not
Yeah.
touching me, dog. No, but yeah, with that, humans ain't shit. I just think we should stop fucking with the environment itself. We are part of the environment, but we're not within the environment
Okay.
anymore.
Not to be political,
Here
but
we go.
when people
Trumpy
talk
ass
about
bitch.
when people talk about foreign involvement, right? So not to be American centric, and say we're the best, but a lot of people struggle with how much, if any, should America involve itself in foreign
other
affairs.
affairs.
So away from the politics, talking about the environment, what you're advocating is that human beings let nature do its own thing, and just let its own devices just come whatever it may, and we shouldn't work to conserve species that are dying or anything like that.
No, that's not what I mean.
You're saying you're calling for human involvement in conservation,
In conservation. I'm just
but you're saying that fucks it up.
No. I'm saying within like hybridization, like trying to change the environment. No.
I think
But you are,
yeah.
because when you change the environment, when, like, let's say pollution, or you're destroying a watering hole that a lot of animals depend on.
Yes,
Humans need to be involved, because then that environment suffers. And if you're like, oh no, we're just gonna conserve it as much as we can, you have to go ahead and involve yourself in that.
Say it again.
So, okay, let's say...
This motherfucker talking all around.
No,
Okay.
it's hard. Oh, so what you're saying is, where's the line of humans should get involved and shouldn't get involved? Because it's almost like we should let nature take its course because conservation, but when things are failing, we help conservation.
Yeah.
But where's that line? Is
I
that
agree.
where you're
Especially
getting at?
since
Where
the
is
things
the
that
line?
we're doing is affecting the environment.
Exactly. So yes, we step in every single fucking time because humans ain't shit.
So what do we
Absolutely.
do?
Huh?
We're solving all the world's problems right now.
now. Tonight.
This is, okay. So every time I watch a documentary on conservation,
Sure. You watch documentaries?
yeah, what's that guy's name that talks every time?
Dave Attenborough.
That motherfucker.
Do not disrespect my man.
Listen. I
David
love the guy.
Attenborough.
His voice is angelic and all. But he did this one documentary, right?
Okay.
He's like, when I was born,
That's not what his voice sounds like.
there was 3 billion people. And as the show goes on, there's more. 4, 5, 6. Now there's
It's
9.
exponential, bro.
And then he
It's
goes,
exponential growth.
let's all go vegan. You piece of shit. Like,
Tino's over here vegetarian as fuck, like, oh, fuck, shit.
bro, the problem is that the solution is not that. The problem is there's too many people. The only solution is bringing those people to back down. Who's going to do that? Nobody.
Thanos.
So we need that motherfucker, honestly. But who's going to do that? Nobody. So it's going to lead to a very, very bad place when it comes to the ecosystem, regardless. So yes, we're going to step in. And when I talk like that, I'm talking about a perfect world. Hybrids, they can go suck a dick.
But why not
That's what
step
I
in to the maximum extent?
Bro,
Everything that could possibly we could do. Why would we not do it?
Hybridizing wouldn't be-
Including hybridize.
I think
hybridizing
we
wouldn't
tried.
be.
There's the thing, is
We've been there. We've
we
tried it.
tried
it doesn't go
so
well.
hard
So we don't
to
do
do
anything.
things.
Like, let's say the Florida
There's
Panthers,
other
there's
things-
no other solution.
Bro,
As a matter
they're
of fact-
fucked. As it is, they're fucked.
Yeah.
I would say we do stuff, but we allow other opinions. And the problem is that we do things solely on a bias because we assume something, so we found out a way to prove it's right, therefore we're gonna do it. And that's why so many things have changed over the years. That's why we're like, oh no, we were wrong, and look what the fuck we did to the world.
Yeah,
You know, so I don't know, man.
I think
Definitely a weird line.
like
It's a weird line.
with the if you hybridize the Florida Panther, it's already not a Florida Panther. The environment's already
true.
affected.
You're
The
right.
panther already looks different.
But maybe
It
the
has
species
different-
is not what's important. It's the niche that they
That's
encompass.
what I'm getting to. That
But
panther's
they're
a whole
not
different
thriving.
animal.
But what he's saying is that they're not
There's,
thriving.
it's a whole other animal. It literally right now there's a panther picture of a panther carrying around a cattle. So now ranchers are trying to shoot them down because they're stealing the cattle.
Yeah.
The Florida Panther might have done it, probably, motherfucker. But like now how do we know the one that did it is not one of the hybrids? It's taller, it's bigger, it can carry a cattle out. Then that affects the animal, like the Florida
Understood.
Panther, in a negative way. Even though we fucking tried, now they're trying to shoot them down, and they probably are. There's no cameras around to show that they're not shooting them down.
Look,
so,
trust me, people that are shooting animals out in the wild, they don't care and they don't know.
Yeah, exactly. So it's
It
like,
could be a freaking giraffe
Yeah,
taking
yeah,
their
yeah,
cow,
yeah, absolutely.
and they would not care. They'd
Yeah,
be
yeah.
like, I don't care what this thing is. It's dying.
Yeah, exactly. So that's my point. Like, what if the Florida Panther wasn't into larger predator, larger prey like a cattle, and it wouldn't have done that? Now we introduce another species. There's footage of one taking a fucking cattle out, and now they're trying to fight that off, and they're trying to quit the law and kill them all because it's affecting our farming.
Right.
So that's a negative impact on that. Like, hybridizing might bring a problem that you can't come back from.
Understood.
Yeah.
And that's where it's like right now, how do you?
But everything is like that.
To an extent,
Every
yeah.
decision
But
human
why
beings
would he,
made, we
why
can't
would he
go
make
back.
hybrids one of those?
Maybe it'll work.
No reason whatsoever. No fucking reasons, you know.
All right, guys. Final remarks, real quick. I'm still gonna breed these turtles.
Fucking hit this guy up.
No, but for real though, I do think there's a place in a market for certain things.
I don't.
Whether now, I'm me. I'm
Yeah,
just
yeah.
I'm a responsible guy. I'm not a fucking asshole with this shit. I'm very transparent. I used to sell Belize ready or hybrids.
I thought he was gonna say drugs.
No. I
used to sell drugs in Belize.
He said sell, pause, looks up, and I'm like, kid.
So and when I would, I really would explain to the people, and obviously it depends on the customer. I mean, the Diamondback and the Mississippi Map, that's for a different kind of person. But I would tell people, hey, this is not an animal that you throw in the wild. Here's my card. If you don't want it anymore, call me. I'll buy it back. I'll ship it back. I don't care if I lost money on the thing. I don't want you to do anything with this hybrid that isn't deserved, you know? And that's just, you know, very close. Those are sliders from different places, you know? But I think in the end of the day, fuck it, man. I mean, we just got to be responsible. We got to be transparent. I appreciate you guys' opinions. Do you guys have any final remarks? Look at them looking at each other with evil eyes.
Let's see. What can I say that's not offensive?
No. I had something for that a little bit. Like a lot of people within the hobby itself, I guess we're gonna call it, want to get the pet trade to help. A lot of people say they help with conservation,
but they don't.
Within
They just have the animals.
Exactly. And hybridizing proves that they don't. For example, abronias is a big one. A lot of people have them. Oh, it's an endangered species. I'm just breeding them to, you know, help the numbers come up. Even though he's breeding fucking siblings together and fucking up the genetic.
Yeah, he's doing it for the profit.
Yeah, he's doing it for himself at this point. But if that was to
say it,
I will. Hold up. If that was to, I'm tripping. Once this podcast is done, no, let me forget this. Okay.
We lost him. I think.
Yeah,
we
he's gone. He's
All right,
gone.
I'll let you gather your thing real quick. I'm gonna say one thing. So on your situation, I was given large female Indian spotted turtles.
Nice.
Right, and everybody is like, "Yo," because we need to breed them for conservation and to help them. Who the fuck is sending them back?
Exactly.
No one.
Nobody is.
No
Yeah.
Nobody is.
The only
Nobody
things
is.
that you can do is proceeds, and I think that as
I
being in the
didn't-
industry,
you know what? I didn't even think about it like
being
that.
in the industry, if you say, "Hey,
nobody's fucking
in buying
doing
this Diamondback
Nobody's doing
Terrapin,
it.
I will donate 10%. I'll donate
And they'll
50%
say it, but they
to
won't really do it
conservation
a lot of
organizations."
times.
And here's
That's
the thing,
problem.
that's some shit that I definitely would do.
Yeah.
I
That's
want to do
me.
that.
My final remark: if you have faith in humanity, you're wrong. You're absolutely wrong.
Wow, we agree.
Damn.
You're
Finally
wrong.
today.
I
No,
actually-
you believe in
I'll-
conservation efforts. I don't even.
Oh no!
Damn!
No. Conservation efforts helps for as long as it can.
Yeah.
Is it gonna be fucked? It's gonna be fucked. But
I think we're definitely the worst invasive thing that ever happened.
Oh, we know that.
Hell yeah.
We know. I mean, absolutely. Come on. We
Did you get your thought together finally? Do you remember what it was? Are you gonna want to say it?
Bro, I just saw some shit. Is all I'm saying.
Oh, you have the stage.
Okay,
bro.
no.
All right.
It's not. Let's not even.
All right.
But I could get
We're
to it.
good.
Hold up.
Okay.
So the abronia thing, like a lot of people breed them, keep them, sell them. They call that conservation. They just want to look nice. Once you hybridize, let's say I'm doing that. I'm just breeding and I'm just bringing the numbers up in captivity. So the day we have to release them, we can. And then you hybridize them. It makes me look bad.
Yeah, because you muddied the gene pool.
Yeah. And then
Okay.
it's like, oh no, you can't do that because I'm working for conservation and you're not. When none of them are
Really
doing
are.
shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, like that to me is a huge
Yeah.
pet peeve of mine when it comes to that.
Yeah.
Like that's when hybrids.
People who lie.
Yeah, especially with hybrids, it's like, oh yeah, this is this happens in the wild all the time. Is there a population for it? No, pussy as fuck.
Yeah. A random occurrence is not a population.
Yeah, it's not.
Interesting.
It's not.
Okay. I mean, yeah, I agree with you. The same thing with the fucking like the Indian spotted turtles, and that's actually a thought that I had because I was like, oh, I'm gonna breed them, and then, you know, I almost gave one to Ty Park, and I was like, oh, just take the female, and then I'm like, dude, but people are just selling these animals. We're gonna have so many of them in Florida. People are just gonna be irresponsible with them. They're not even that expensive
It's
anymore.
fucked.
And it's just like, dude, like, why? It's like this similar to sulcatas. I'm like, there's so many.
There's
like,
so
and I love
many.
breeding sulcatas, but guess what the fuck I'm not doing right now?
Yeah.
Breeding sulcatas because I'm like,
Why?
you know, like.
There's already too much.
All right. Anything else before we start tagging ourselves?
No, we're good.
Take it away.
All right. You could find me, Modern Reptile Shop, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok. I almost said Twitter. I don't have fucking Twitter.
Oh.
Obviously on YouTube, Modern Reptile. You can find this podcast on any streaming platform that matters. Tino, where are you at?
You can find me on the Modern Reptiles podcast.
Damn! Wow, bro. Like
You can find me on Imperial Reptiles. And I'm on Instagram at constantly __Tino 2 underscores.
I'm Chucky, and you can find me on MadBioReptiles everywhere.
Perfect, guys. This podcast is sponsored by Imperial Reptiles. You can find them in imperialreptiles.co. Imperial Reptiles Orlando. I almost said 305. That's the old one. Yikes. And imperialreptiles.com. This was the Reptiles with Podcast. Later.